All right, welcome to the second part of the caster project tutorial. Wherever the caster project was assigned to you, right now I'm on the rover site, whether it's engineering or CAD CAM or another class, wherever it was assigned, you should have a copy of the caster drawings. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up. PDF, these are what I'm going to use to reference as I'm drawing it. You can either just go off the video or you can open these up and have these visible as well. I'm going to go into Fusion. I'm going to work in the CAD model practice folder. This is where I've got my model saved. Make sure that you are saving this in the correct folder, whether it's rover or engineering or CAD CAM, whatever class this is assigned for, make sure it's in your proper folder. For me, I'm going to save it right here. This is the one that I've been practicing on, and this is the one I've been using for the video tutorial. So this should be where we left off last class period, or not last class period, but last video. Now that I've got this opened, I'm going to go ahead, hide the data plane. Just looking at what we have, I can see that I've got the caster model title up here. Document settings, this is where we would change it from inches to millimeter. This is millimeters, so we'll leave it. Origin, you can turn it on or off. We'll just leave that off. And then this first plate was my first part. Right now you can see there's a circle over there to activate component. When we were working in the plate, this dot was highlighted, and everything that we did, all of our bodies and sketches were inside of this plate folder. Now that we're getting ready for our second component, I'm going to go back up here, make sure we activate the top level component. We're going to go ahead and hide the visibility of the plate, just so it's not in our way. Come back over here to our model. And the next piece right here, this is our frame piece. This is the next part that we're going to work on. So kind of a little angle view of it, and then the side, the top, and either the front or back view. So the first thing I want to do, make sure that I'm at this top level, that this top level is activated. I'm going to right click up top. We're going to create a new component. Opens up this dialog box again. I'm going to go ahead and type in frame. Leave everything else as it is and hit OK. And it's going to open a new component, and it's going to make it the activated component, which is exactly what we want to do. So we'll go ahead, go back to our drawing. We're going to start with this top section of the frame, which is just a bunch of circles right here. We have an 18, a 36, a 90, and a 108. So we're just going to draw all four of those circles, and then we'll extrude that section upward. So we'll go ahead. I can see I'm in the solid tab. I'm going to click on Create Sketch. I'm going to select this plane. It corresponds to the top plane. Select this top plane. I'm going to hit the letter C on my keyboard for circle. I'm going to go ahead and put in an 18 millimeter circle and hit enter. Letter C again for another circle. I think it was 36 and hit enter. I'm going to double check. 18, 36, 90, 108. Okay, hit the letter C for another circle. Make sure it snaps to the origin. I'm going to type in 90 and hit enter. C on my keyboard for circle. Snap it to the origin. Come on out and just type in 108 and hit enter. And then I'm going to go ahead and drag these to the outside, just so it's a little bit easier to see. I'm just going to click on them, hold my mouse down and drag them. 18, 36, 90, 108, and those are all the ones that I need. So I'm going to go ahead and click Finish Sketch. Whenever I'm done sketching, I like to go back to the home view, so it's kind of angled. I can kind of see the extrusions a little bit better. I'm going to go ahead and save this, and I'm going to say Frame Sketch 1. On the caster project, it's not going to be difficult at all to get 6 saves, but it's always a good habit just to kind of save every step of the way. When I look at this, I can see this top plate. The entire thing is 15 millimeters thick, and that section right there It's a little bit thinner, that's only 12 millimeters. So when I come over here to the extrude, this section and this section, we're just going to do one side. I'm going to type in right here that it's 15 millimeters and hit enter. Whenever I extrude something, the sketch goes away. So I'm going to come over here and turn the sketch back on. Restart my extrude tool. Come down here, I'm going to grab the profile in between those two. And this is still a one-sided sketch, or one-sided extrude. And this distance is 12. And we want to join those two bodies to this new body in the middle. So make sure we're on join and hit OK. We'll turn off our sketch, and that certainly looks like the first part of the frame. So I'm going to go ahead and save that and call it, let's call it extrude number 1. We know it's in the frame section. Okay. So now that I got this top ring, I got to work on, we're just going to do one of these side pieces, and then we can use the mirror command to mirror it over there. We can see that this comes down, and this central plane, it's not right here on the edge of the circle, but it's 34 millimeters offset. So we're going to come back into here. Inside my frame component, I'm going to go ahead and hit the construct button. We're going to create an offset plane. As soon as I do that, it turns on the origin planes. I'm going to select this plane right here. If it's difficult for you to select the proper plane, you can always left click and hold down your mouse, and it's going to give you all of the options that are underneath your mouse at that time. So you can kind of cycle through, and it's this XZ plane. See right here, X axis and Z axis, that front face. It's this XZ plane that I want to select. And then I'm just going to slide it out here to the side. I want it to go this way. And right now Fusion thinks that's the negative direction. So I'm going to go negative 34 millimeters, because that's what my PDF says to do. And come over here and say, okay. So now instead of, I'll turn the origin planes on. Instead of just having these 3 planes as my options to where to sketch on, now I can sketch on this plane as well. Go ahead and turn off the origin plane. I'm going to start a new sketch. I'm going to start it on this plane right here. I've got this circle. I'm actually going to go back, even though I'm currently in a sketch plane. If I kind of come over here to the side, you see my sketch plane is not on the edge of the circle or in the center, but it's offset by 34 millimeters. I'm going to come back to this home view. I'm going to say create, and come down here to project and include. And I can either do a projection or an intersection. If I do intersect, it's going to ask me to select either an entity or a body. I'm going to select body. I'm going to select this. And you can see the purple line that it's going to do. If you were to slice this, it's the profile that would show in the slice. And that's not really the geometry that I want, because it only doesn't go quite to the ends of the circle. It just cuts through where the plane would cut through. So I'm going to cancel that, come back up here, project and include, and instead of doing the intersection, I'm going to do the projection. And same thing, I'm going to select the body, and this time you can see when I hover over it, remember that front view, when I hover over it, the red outline is over the entire piece, not where it cuts through the circle, but the entire circle, as if a light was projecting on it and it was casting a shadow. And that's the geometry that I need for my drawing. When I look here, I can see that some of these measurements are from the very ends of this top circle. So I need to make sure that I've got those ends of that top circle on my sketch. So I'm going to go ahead, click that to select that body. It turns purple once you got them selected. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to go back, look to the front face. This XZ plane is the plane I'm sketching on. So now I've got these purple lines and those dots at the corners. So that geometry is now in my sketch plane. So now I can use that to go ahead and make reference lines. So I've already got this part of my sketch done. These dashed lines means that those are hidden lines. There's a circle through the center here, and there's a little drop down that we can't see from this view, but we know that center circle is there, and we know there's a little indented section. So we'll go ahead, we'll start with these circles. I have an 18 and a 36. So they're kind of down and to the right. So I'm just going to go ahead and start the circle command again, and just kind of down and to the right, just out here in the middle of nowhere. I'm going to come out and do an 18 circle, hit the letter C. Same center as this one, wherever it is. I'm going to type in 36. So I've got those two circles, and you'll notice that they're blue. When lines are blue, it means that you can still move things. I can kind of take this circle and kind of move it. It's not locked down anywhere. So what I want to do is I want to position this circle in the correct location. I know that that circle is 84 millimeters from this front edge. That's why we did the projection. And it's 75 millimeters down from that bottom edge. So we'll come over here into our tools. If this tool is not here, you can always click the create, and it's down here at the bottom. So I'm going to go from this front dot right here on the corner over here. When I click on the center, it's actually going to highlight the ring. That's okay. It's still going to snap to the center. And then depending upon where I put my mouse, if I put my mouse down here, it's going to give me the horizontal distance. If I move it up, it's going to kind of give me that straight line angular distance between the two. And if I move my mouse over here to the left, it's going to automatically give me a different dimension based upon my mouse location. It's going to try to guess what I want to do. So I'm going to click down here. I think it was 84. Let me double check. Yeah, 84 and 75. So I've got it where it's 84 down. I still have the dimension tool open. So I'm going to grab this whole bottom line, come down here to the center, and highlights the circle so I know I'm on the center. Slide out here, click to place it, and then type 75 and hit enter. So now you can see these lines turn from blue to black. I'm going to hit the escape key to get out of my dimension tool. If I try to grab these circles now and try to move them around, nothing's moving because they're fully defined. There's nothing left about them that I can adjust, so that's locked into place. So I've got my circles, so I need this arc and I need this straight line. So we'll go ahead and do the straight line. Let's kind of come over here on the right side of the circle, and it's off to the left a little bit. So I'm going to start my line tool. I'm going to have it snap to the circle somewhere over here on the right hand side. And instead of going straight up and being vertical, I know it's kind of angled. And I don't want to snap it right there. That's kind of in line with the center. I'm going to do it really wrong. You don't want to snap it to something, because once it snaps to something, it's going to stay there. So I'm going to put it on this bottom and just kind of leave it be. It's blue. So now I can come in here, grab my dimension tool. I need to check my dimensions. It's 18 over from here. And then from this out to the edge is also 12. So the top is 18 and the bottom is 12. So grab my dimension tool. From this dot to the edge, I come down here and click to place it. Type in 18. And then I'm going to go from this dot right here over to this dot right here. And initially it's going to give me the height. If I kind of get in between there, it's going to give me the diagonal. If I come all the way down here, I'm going to have to zoom in a little bit. I had to zoom in a lot. Now it's going to give me that horizontal distance. So I'm going to click to place it and type in 12. So I'm going to take this 12 and kind of drag it out here so it's not in the way. I'm going to zoom back out and drag this 18 over here. Okay. So now I've got that line. You can see this line is turned to black. It is fully constrained. Last thing I need to do is add in this arc. We're going to use the 3-point arc tool. If you let it hover, it says place the starting point. So I know the starting point is somewhere here in the bottom. Let it hover, it says place the end point. So I know it's down here. And same thing, I don't know where it is, so I'll just put it here on the edge. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of bow in it. I'm not going to snap it to anything. And just put it right there. You can see that this highlighted blue means that it's an enclosed profile. I'm going to grab the dimension tool, and I'm going to put a radius of 170 millimeters on it. So I'm going to click on this, and it already says radius, which is fantastic. Click to place it, and I'm going to type in 170, and then hit enter. And that looks terrible. Okay. So I want to slide this. I'm going to hit the escape key. I want to slide this back over a little bit. That looks a little bit better. I know that from this front edge to where that attaches is 18. So instead of just eyeballing it, I'll put the sketch dimension tool back into play. Grab that front dot. Grab that dot. Click to place it and type in 18. This is still blue, so there's still more things I can do. I've got this edge constrained. Hit the escape key. If I grab this curve and try to move it, you can tell that this 170 is staying the same. This top edge is staying the same. It's where this is connected, and that's moving. If I kind of grab it and try to move it, I've got to figure out where this bottom part of the arc lands. So I come over to my drawing. I'm going to kind of zoom in. And we can see that that bottom part is perfectly parallel and lined up with the center of the circle. Okay, that line comes out from the center, and that's right where the thing attaches. So we'll come in here. I'm going to use one of my constraints, and I'm going to say, I don't want that line. I'm going to click off of it. I'm going to grab this horizontal and vertical constraint. Select that. I'm going to say that I want this dot to be horizontal to this dot. So make those two things horizontal, and you can see as soon as I did that, it turned it black. We're going to escape out of that tool. I'm actually going to back up a step and undo that constraint. If you've got this dot close here to the top of the circle, and I grab the horizontal or vertical constraint, grab that dot, and grab that dot. Since it's closer to vertical, it's going to snap it to vertical, which is not what I want. I want to make sure it's horizontal. So we'll do the undo command. Okay. I'm going to drag this close to where I want it, which is close to being vertical. And then I can go ahead and start the horizontal or vertical. It's going to do whichever one is closer. So that's what I want right there. This 170 cutting across here kind of annoys me, so I'm going to click it and drag it right over here, and that's a lot easier to read. So these are closed in blue profiles. It means that I can extrude these, so that's what we want to do. I'm going to go ahead and finish this. Oh, just double check, make sure I don't miss anything. Got the 18 and the 36. I think I did that right. Let's see how it goes. Hit the Finish Sketch button. Once again, I'm going to go back to the home view, kind of get that perspective of what's going on. Thickness, the skinny part is 6 millimeters, and you can see it's coming both sides of that line of symmetry, and this is 18. So when I start up the extrude command, I'm going to go ahead, instead of doing one side, I'm going to do two sides symmetric. I'm going to grab this, and I can't remember, 6, thank you. So I'm going to say if the whole thing is 6, that means that the half length has to be 3. And you can see that it does 3 millimeters on both sides. And make sure that that's on join. Hit OK. Once you extrude something, the sketch goes away. So we're going to come back over here to sketch number 2. Turn that back on. Start up the extrude tool again. Go to symmetric. I'm going to click this circle right here. And this time, The hole distance is 18 millimeters. So instead of doing the half length and having to divide in my head, I'm going to click on hole length. I'm just going to type in 18. And once again, it's on join. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to turn off the sketch, and that looks pretty good. If you made a mistake in the sketch, you kind of have to start and stop again. I can always come back over here to this sketch. I can right-click on it and click Edit Sketch, and that'll get me back into here where I can make whatever adjustments I need to. I'll hit Finish Sketch, and we're good to go right there. Now that this is done, we're out of the Sketch tab. Now let's go ahead and save this. This is frame that was extrude number 2. I'm going to hit OK. And then we're going to take this chunk we just did and we're going to mirror it to the other side rather than doing that all again. There's a mirror command in the sketch. There's also a mirror command up here in the solid body. Click on Create. Come down to where it says Mirror. I don't want to do a face. I want to do the whole feature. Okay, I can do feature or I can do body. Let's go into bodies. We'll do it this way. The body that I want to select. Oh, no, I hit join. So if I do body, it's going to grab everything. So I'm going to change my mind. X out of that. And instead of bodies, I'm going to do features. To select this feature, I'm going to come down here. This is your timeline at the bottom. And this is the extrude that I just did. You can see it's going to highlight that chunk right there. This is the other extrude that I just did. So those are the two pieces that I want to mirror. Then the mirror plane, I'm going to hit select. When I hit select, it turns on my origins. So this plane, go to my view cube. That plane right there is right in the middle. So that's what I want to use as my mirror plane. So I'll select that. Kind of gives you a little preview. That looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and say OK. So now we've got all parts of the frame. And if we look at this, we just have one body. We made sure we joined everything together. So that's just one piece right there. We'll go ahead. What color is this? Green. I'm going to hit the letter A on my keyboard to bring up the appearance menu. We'll go, what have we been doing? I think we've been doing paint, glossy. So to take this green, I'm going to click and drag. That's already on components. So we'll turn that whole thing green. Say close. Go ahead and save this. I'm going to say extrude 3, whoops, and appearance. I'm going to say green. Okay. So I save that. Now that I'm done with the frame, I can kind of go minimize that. I can turn the plane back on, or the plate. Since the frame is the active component, the plate's just going to be kind of in a shadow. If I come up here to the upper level project and activate the whole thing, you can see both pieces. Wherever they overlap, it'll put a little bit of blue and green at the same time. Double checking in my model, I can see I'm up to version 8 already. And if I look at it, show all 8 versions, you can see that my saves are nice and consistent throughout the project. You only need a minimum of 6, but with a caster project, we'll probably get up into the 20s or 30s. It's a big project. Okay, so I've got the plate and the frame. We're going to scroll down. Actually, we'll go ahead and stop this video right here for the frame. This is a 24-minute video already. We'll stop this, upload this as a chunk, and then the next video should be the rest of these pieces. This hub section will be easy, the flange, and then we just have a couple circles for the rest of our video. So we'll go ahead. Whenever there's an asterisk here, that means there's some information that's not saved. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit save. And I think it's just the fact that I turned both of these on. There's nothing significant I did. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit OK for user saved. And it's going to automatically do the version 8 to version 9 for me. But there's no asterisks. There's no unsaved information. So we're going to go ahead, stop this video right there. and in the third video, we'll do the rest of the parts. If you have any questions, just email your instructor. I'll be happy to help. Thanks and have a great day.